everybody, it is Calxiyn here, and if you enjoyed this video, you should subscribe for more ODDTAXI reactions and reviews. Today I am going to be covering episode 2 and the corresponding audio drama, if there is one. I think that there isn't necessarily one every week, but I'll make sure to check on that, obviously, before I get started. And before we get started, remember that you all should subscribe so you're notified when I post an ODDTAXI video. You should also join the Discord server or follow me on my other social medias, get notified about videos that way, and then in the Discord we can also talk about the episode that I'm currently on, stuff like that. And then finally, remember that if you want to see my full-length reactions, they are exclusive to Patreon. It is a you press play when I press play, so you're supporting the show on your own end, and you basically just sync up with me. I have the subtitles and a timer to make it a little bit easier, but that way we can all support the show, and you can see my full-length reaction. And in addition to that, something that I'm kind of doing differently compared to something like Attack on Titan or Shadow's House, but because the entire show is already finished, I'm able to kind of do a little bit of pre-recording. And so not only can you see the exclusive full-length reactions, but the reviews will also be up. These review videos will also just be up for early access because I'm working on them early. So yeah, that's pretty cool too. And so if you want both of those things, you can check up on the Patreon, of course. But without further ado, why don't we just get into it? Let's go. Is that the alpaca lady? Maybe it's because she's in on it, you know? She's the one with the wiretap. She is working with the police, you know? I don't like that. Oh man, you're a freeloader, sir. Well, that's nice. Your girlfriend wants you to follow your dreams, I guess, but still, you're a freeloader, sir. I like this though. I like kind of the subplot with the comedy people. I really like it. Maybe it's just a little too relatable. You know what I'm saying? Oh, man. Aw. Aw. Oh, okay. Confirmed age. Yeah, that's why it's awkward. Yeah, I know. It sounds like she's interrogating him for the police, bro. Like the wiretap, bro. Oh, my God. Ah, oh, damn, they have student loans in Japan? Oh boy. Aw. Is that why she's selling the drugs? Oh no, now I feel bad. Was she selling the drugs to be out of debt? Aw. And that's why she's selling the drugs, but oh no, I feel like she's just pretending though. Ah! Oh man, that's so funny. I feel like though she's just pretending. Maybe she didn't sell drugs. Maybe she's just working with the police and they're paying her money. I don't know. Oh man, you're gonna play hard to get, bro? That's not nice. You should just be honest and genuine with people. Yeah, that's true. Wait, you know that his parents are dead, bro? That's not nice. You know that his parents abandoned him. Why is he saying that? Bro, don't take pictures of him without his consent. Yeah, that's not nice. Oh, man. Whoa, 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 whoa. That's the girl in the band. No, she's 18. Why does she want a sugar daddy? Oh my god. No, 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 no. I don't like this. Unless he lied about his age too, because he said that if the driver is almost 41, how old is the other guy? You know what I'm saying? Oh man. Oh, he pinned it? Bro, that's not even that viral, is it? That's 2,000 retweets, isn't it? I don't know what the number is. It could have been 2 million. No, 2 million's not. Maybe 200,000. Oh, look at this guy. He was the one with the tickets, right? Oh, they're so cute. Oh, I ship this. Oh. Damn. They want to live normal lives, I guess. Damn. Oh, man. He's just calling people out. Oh, that's so nice. snap. She's trying to catch a rich man and have him buy all their merch or something. I don't know. Oh, this is so sad. Her demeanor's changed though. I don't know. Oh, the dash cam? Oh, he's connected to this somehow too? Oh, he's a broke bitch. Oh, man. Oh, come on, he's broke. Oh, well, that's nice. He is a softie. Look at this. Wow. Damn, that's like too real. This show's too real, bro. Like, I was the OG. Like, you know what I mean? Oh my gosh, a fan account. That's so cute. Oh, he wants the lottery to buy all the CDs. Whoa, okay. Maybe that's what happened to his parents. Oh my gosh, not again. Maybe that's what it was then, that I misinterpreted. Maybe the mom didn't kill the dad. Maybe they were both in an accident and the dad died. I don't know. Is he just reading the numbers from the locker? That's so funny. Oh, it's the guy from the OP. Okay. Oh, are these the comedy guys? Are they the comedy duo? Oh, Hippo, not again. And it's exactly 10 minutes. That's so funny. Oh my gosh. I don't know if that was intentional, but that's so, like, maximum AdSense. Oh man. I mean, this is kind of funny. Y'all should use this during the routine. This is, oh my gosh, this is so, like, thought-provoking. True. Oh, the pen. Is that the cutesy pen? Oh, no. I don't want y'all to give up your dreams. Maybe he'll give them the pen and be like, this is a lucky pen, bro. Oh. Oh, no. That's so sad. Yeah, you have to use that to motivate you, not to give up. You have to use that as fuel. I wonder if you put the dash cam video of their little argument in the car online, they would go viral. Food show? What? Well, in a turn of events. Uh-oh. Oh man, it's the bad guy. Oh no! Bro! Well, that's great. I can tell by the tail. Oh man. Well, that's fucked. Oh, it's the two girls talking about her. Oh no, behind her back. Oh no, drama. Idle drama. Oh no. Oh no. Damn. Wow, I wonder if this is gonna, like, directly impact next episode. You know what I mean? Oh my god. They're, like, dragging her. Like, what if, like, if this gets any views, isn't this gonna, like, cause conflict? Oh, damn. Somebody came in. Oh, well, that's nice. She didn't say that she's sorry. Oh, wow, they must feel like assholes, bro. And she just wants to be their friend. And she's being like, they were being assholes and now she wants to be a friend. You know, she wants to, yeah, like, oh my gosh. You know what I mean? Oh no, this is being recorded. No. That's so bad. Oh no. Oh no. Oh man, now we have to find out, like, what the lie is and what the secret is. Oh my gosh. Damn. This is gonna cause so much online drama. Oh man. The sugar daddy, no! That maybe. Oh my god, they killed someone? Did you see that? Oh Oh my god, the dumped a dead body. You have two people saying that they killed someone and dumped a dead body. Oh wait, someone, oh my god. Oh man. Oh no. Oh. No! No, 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 no! Oh no! That's not good. So did this happen before? Oh! See? Yam? Whoa, wait! Now I don't understand the timeline. Alright everybody, let us get into the review, and before we get started, I do just kind of want to say that this has been, like, there's been a week and a half-ish divide between my initial reaction and the review, and usually I don't really comment on things like that because everything's coming out weekly anyway, like, why does it matter? But it's actually relevant, and so the reason why is just because, like, this video felt like a gargantuan, impossible task for me. Sometimes with my ADHD, that just happens. It's like my brain picks something that feels like it's, like, the highest mountain to climb and I get really anxious about it, and like unfortunately it was like this review. Usually it's the reviews just because they're so time consuming sometimes. And so anyway, that aside, I'm saying that because I rewatched both of the episodes in preparation for jumping back into ODDTAXI, and I finally understand the trajectory of the pen. At least, like, we'll have to re-see this audio drama, like the one that follows this episode, but I get it now, because at first I thought the pen did like a circle or like a loop-de-loop, and I was so confused, but now I get it. So Yam is not the sheep lady. Yam is the owner of the bar, and I don't have it with me now because this is my episode 2 screenshot folder, but if you go back to episode 1, you'll actually see that she has the pen, like, on her, like, little ledge behind the bar, like the kangaroo lady has it. And so I think that what happened is that she gave it to the doctor, and so when the doctor said that he got it from Yam, he was talking about her rather than, like, the sheep lady, because then when the most recent audio drama that I've seen came out, and they were all talking, I was so confused, because I guess, I can't remember what it was. It was either that it had done a circle or there was a character with a similar name, or but like it just confused me because I thought that Yam was the sheep, and then somehow like it got to anyway. It doesn't really matter, but I got confused. Now I'm not confused anymore until we get to the audio drama. So at least right now, because the guy said he got it from the taxi driver, right? And so that's what, like, confused me in the audio drama. That's what he said. And so now, at least up until that point, because I do need to, like, reanalyze that with all of you, obviously, until that point, I get it. It was the bar lady, the doctor, and now, obviously, Odokawa gave it to somebody else, is basically what I'm trying to say. So, without further ado, let us actually get into this episode. I am gonna hide this because, like, I know that they're animals, and I know that there's, like, nothing going on, but, like, I don't think that YouTube will appreciate this. So, they're obviously talking about how the alpaca lady, I shouldn't call her a sheep, she's an alpaca. The alpaca lady, like, gave him her phone number, and they're talking about that. Yeah, the conversation just went in that direction. Shit, I'd curse you to death if I could, right? Because he's the one who's having, like, love problems, right? So it kind of makes sense. And I think that my theory was definitely right now about that girl trying to, like, snag a sugar daddy in order to basically, like, sell more of their albums and stuff, because I'm pretty sure that the girl that messaged him is the girl from the band, but we'll get into that a little bit later. Kill me yourself. Why be indirect about it? I know. I bet she just wants an easy way to call a taxi. Skip the pickup fee. You know, actually, she said she wanted to meet up for lunch or dinner on her days off. Now, again, I think that this is, like, fake. I don't think that she has any genuine interest in him. I think that what's happening here is that given the fact that in the doctor's office there was a bug, like, it kind of makes sense that she is the one that's spying. Like, the police approached her, or even maybe, like, the criminal people, right? And that may be one and the same, we don't really know that. Like, they approached her, and they were like, hey, like, can you, you know, spy on him because he may be doing some, like, shady stuff, and she's cooperating. Maybe they even have some blackmail on her. Maybe they're, oh my god, I blew my own mind just now. What if, oh my god, what if they know that she's selling drugs because she was selling drugs to that guy, the violent guy? What if the violent guy's like an undercover cop? That'd be crazy too. Anyway, and so I'm getting so distracted, but anyway, like let's say that he's not. Let's say he's not like an undercover cop. You guys know who I mean, right? Say that the police, because of their association with the violent guy, that they're like friends or whatever, right? And they're like doing shady deals and stuff. What if they basically like set her up and were like, hey, we know that you're selling drugs, but if you help us, we won't arrest you, right? And so they basically trapped her kind of on purpose in order to get her to cooperate. Guys, if that's right, I'm glad that I waited, because I don't know if I would have came to that conclusion before. Anyway, so now we're going back in time, and these are the comedians that we see at the end of this episode. And oh my god, okay, so hold on, I'll uncover for a second, because look at that cute little dolphin! He's so cute! I know that's like so off topic, but like, I don't know, like I just saw it and it was, it's there. Anyway, I want to quit my part-time job already. I already quit mine, huh? When you haven't written any jokes, and so obviously, like, they're basically, he jumped the gun a little. It's like when people, like, quit their jobs to be a YouTuber, but they have, like, 100 subscribers, and it's probably not a good idea. I don't recommend that. I don't even, like, make full-time money, you know what I'm saying? And I have, like, 36,000 subscribers. Don't do it. But, like, chase your dreams, I guess, if you can quit your job, but, later they talk about how his girlfriend's, like, supporting him, and I'm just like, yikes. So yes, now we've basically gone, like, not back in time per se, but we've gone back to, he's explaining, like, how it happened. He picked her up, and this is, like, the conversation that had ensued. And I agree, like, this guy, I mean, if the girlfriend wants to support him, like, that's her choice, but also, like, oh, there's so many stories of people quitting to be, like, Twitch streamers or something, and they're like, give me 6 months to be famous and follow my dreams, and then their girlfriend takes care of them the entire time, and I'm just like, yeah, like, she said that you could quit, but I don't know, you know what I mean? And so, yeah, it's very interesting how this show is just so real, like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just so, like, legit, I guess. Like, the problems that it brings up, even in the background, are just so, like, compelling, especially to me. And so I just really like that. And they live in a place where rent is, oh my god, is that, like, $40,000? Because that's 400 yen. So is that $40,000 or $4,000? Either way, I mean, $40,000 a year for rent, like, that's somebody's salary, but also, like, I live in a big city, so I do understand, like, you know what I mean? I do know, I'm thinking, but I'm like, oh, is 40,000 super unrealistic? Because if you have to pay, like, 2,000 in rent a month, that would be 24,000, right? And so in some places the rent is probably 4,000 a month, or at least like 350 or something, like something fucking ridiculous, So anyway, I don't know. And so yeah, that would amount to like, different mathematical equations. It could either be 40,000 a year or 4,000 a month. You get what I'm saying, guys? Anyway, this is like so irrelevant. Well, it is what it is. Why haven't we found any success on TV? The other day I got caught up in vanity searching, and I was just like, oh no, because I do that too. Sometimes. I know that I shouldn't do that, but sometimes I look up Calxiyn and I see what's going on. And so I never find anything though. Like, there's like nothing interesting. And I'm just like, why doesn't anyone post about like how nice my videos are anywhere? But anyway, I searched for Homo sapiens funny and got hit with, see, he's looking specifically though for people talking about if they're funny. I just look at like for Calxiyn and see if anybody has posted my videos to places like Reddit and stuff like that, because I feel like that those are like more community oriented places. And probably like a good place to be active in as well. And so anyway, that's like so distracting. You shouldn't vanity search. Comedy requires intelligence and culture to understand. That's a bare minimum. In other words, the general public are idiots. And I was just like, again, this is where I feel like things are getting so real, because there are like content creators that definitely think that way. Like, I'm obviously not one of them, but I've definitely heard like the audience is stupid. They don't know what they want, like stuff like that. And I'm just like, oh gosh, but that doesn't stop them from judging us. And like, that's true too. Like, no matter what you think of the audience, like, if you're a critic, if you're a YouTuber, like whatever, like even if you think that like the audience or the public are like idiots, that's still your public, like regardless, you know what I mean? And so I know that this is like not probably important to like the crime and stuff, but I'm just really interested in like discussing the themes of the show that they're bringing up. So anyway, I just think that that's like really interesting. Keep your mouth shut, idiots. Damn. Are you listening? Being a creator is a one-way street. See, so like this is very applicable. And I feel like that I probably have a different experience compared to other people, because a lot of the time, like in these past 2 episodes, when they're talking about like content creators, I'm like, oh, that's me. You know what I mean? Are you listening? Being a creator is a one-way street, right? And so, see, like, I don't get that. I don't think that that's true, though. The only reason why you make YouTube videos, in my opinion, right? Not the only reason, like, you can still make YouTube videos for yourself, but, like, having a YouTube channel inherently and wanting to grow an audience, right? Because they're talking about why can't we be on TV? Well, to be on TV, you need to prove to, like, the TV people that you have enough of an audience that you'll pull in ratings, because ratings are what, like, pays the advertisers. Or I guess what the advertisers pay for is, like, the ratings and the amount of people that see the ads, like, even on TV. And so if you're complaining that you're not on TV, you need, like, the audience's favor to be on TV. So you can't just be like, well, you know, I'm gonna make whatever I want, but then also try to chase fame, because those two things may be a Venn diagram, but they're not necessarily, like, intersected. You know what I mean? Like, you can't have one, like, you can't just be like, oh, well, I'll make whatever I want, and if the audience doesn't like it, they're stupid. But also, I want to be famous and be on TV, though. Like, if you want to be famous, you do have to cater at least a little bit to the audience, right? And so I feel like that this conversation's so interesting, because on one hand, I have sort of, like, not catered in the sense that I just kind of make whatever I want. Like, you know, some people have asked me, like, Cal, why do you talk for so long? Like, can't you just make a 10-minute review on the episode or something? And that would probably get more attention, because an hour-long video is a big time commitment. But on the other hand, like, I want to go in depth. I want to actually talk about the themes that the show's presenting and talk about the conversations that the show is conversating about, even if they may not necessarily be relevant, you know, to the entire, like, plot or whatever. Like, these are very interesting discussions and themes, and I don't know, like, I just really I like sitting down for an hour and talking. And so, you know, there's sort of that line in between. Like, my whole thing is like, oh, well, people probably want to see the reaction, and maybe they'll, like, pledge on Patreon for the reaction, and them pledging on Patreon, even a single person, or even, like, half a person, is more money than this video would ever make anyway, so who cares, you know? Like, I'll make whatever I want anyway, because it's not like, you know what I mean? Like, it's sort of like one of those things. And that's also why Patreon is so helpful, because you actually can make whatever you want, because a lot of the time, the thing that you would want to make won't make that much money. But when you have a Patreon, it's basically like, because to get $10, I would have to get 10,000 views. But if one of you just pledged $10, that's like 10,000 views worth of money. So then I don't need to chase 10,000 views anymore, right? Like, that's sort of like the logic. And so, yeah, I think that this is a very interesting conversation, and I hope I'm able to kind of give my perspective, like, as a content creator. And I would like to know, like, if you were watching this just as a viewer, you don't make content or anything like that, like, what did you think of this conversation and, like, what they were saying? Suppressing your own creativity to cater to society's values produces mediocre results. And I would say that that is true. Like, if you're doing stuff just to chase trends and just for clout chasing, you know what I mean? Like, if I just, like, made videos because I was like, oh, you know, so-and-so made a video of them waking up at 5 a.m. every day and it has 1 million views, I'll just chase that, even though I don't particularly care about that lifestyle content or something, right? Or even how I was like, oh, I have to do My Hero Academia because that's what people want me to do. I can't do ODDTAXI. I need to do My Hero Academia. Yeah, that produced a mediocre result. But I feel like that everything is in harmony, right? On one hand, you shouldn't just cater to the audience, because then you yourself won't put any passion or any heart into it, right? On the other hand, you should think about your audience a little bit, because one of the things that is responsible for burnout is a lack of validation or, like, recognition, right? And on YouTube, that can be, like, so damaging, because, like, say you do something at work, there's still a chance that your boss will not, like, you know, validate you or give you a raise or say that you did a good job, right? There's still, like, that risk. But on YouTube, that risk is a lot greater to, like, put a lot of work into something and then receive, like, no validation from, like, the algorithm, as they say, or, like, views. I've seen there was I think they changed their name now to, like, Internet Analysis or something, but they used to be Psych IRL, and they did a video about burnout and the key things of burnout, and one of them, I think, is, like, that lack of, like, recognition. And so you can be like creative and as creative as you want, but you will eventually burn out because that lack of recognition will like get to you. And so it's always good to think of things in a balance, right? And so for me, I'm just like, okay, like I'm gonna pick something that people will probably watch, but it doesn't need to be like, you know, the craziest, most popular, like the 5 a.m. wake up routine like video or something. You know, it can be something like Shadow's House that may not get like super popular and 10,000 views like Miraculous, but it'll have enough community engagement with that video that I'm personally satisfied, because even if like just 10 people are like, wow, Cal, that was insightful, I really like watching your discussion videos, it made me see the show differently, like even a small majority of people is enough like validation or recognition to like combat that burnout, at least for me. So, you know, they both have points. Like they're right, but they're also not. Also, is this Snail like relevant? Like I'm looking at this, I'm hiding like most of the footage just because it's like irrelevant, right? Like I only want to focus on the stuff that's actually like important in terms of facial expressions or like, you know, foreshadowing or stuff like that. Is this Snail like a metaphor? I don't know what it would be though for, because I don't know enough about like snail mythology. I know that sounds so ridiculous, but I mean like animal representations. Why don't we just look it up really fast? Okay, this is actually interesting. Snail is associated, also guys, look at my phone case. I know that this is so random, but look at this absolute crack that I have in my case. Anyway, Snail is associated with wisdom, slow progress, okay, persistence, patience, peace, self-care, and harmony. It's a gentle creature that carries its home wherever it goes. They symbolize self-love and self-care above everything else, retreating into their shell at the first sign of danger. That's actually very interesting, because think about like their whole conversation right here, is that they're like these struggling comedians, like maybe like this whole conversation, right? Persistence, slow progress, like, you know, like almost like slow and steady wins the race, right? And then they also said, it said harmony, right? So like everything in that balance is sort of what I was saying. Okay. So that's interesting. What if that like represents them, right? And like, you know, they're progressing slowly, but they'll get there eventually if they can find a balance between pleasing the audience and also being pleased with their own work. I actually really like that. We're not building household appliances here. Our opinion should be the priority when we're going after people's sensibilities. It's up to us to decide, nah, that wasn't quite right, let's try something else. And like, I guess, like, yeah, like that's true, but still, like, you know what I mean? Like, ultimately, you as the creator need to decide, but also, like, you have to take their criticism into consideration, like, if you want to, like, continue and grow that audience, right? Anyway, and so let's look at the facial expressions here for a minute. And so the alpaca lady seems kind of like she seems kind of awkward because nobody's really talking, and I feel like that's sort of, you know, what she is thinking about, is that, oh shit, like I gotta get dirt on this guy, but there's not an opening for the conversation because like we're both listening to the radio. You know, and so you can see her looking almost like outside of the window, like, like, you know what I mean? Not like, I don't want to say longingly per se out the window, but more like that, like, you know, that out the window type, like, awkward sort of glance. I can't really explain it. It's so hard to put, like, an emotion to a single face sometimes, but I think y'all know what I mean. Like, you know, that's a very, like, anime, or even just, like, a shot that they use in movies and TV shows a lot, like the characters looking out the window because there's something on their mind, but they aren't able to talk about it right now. And so they actually say that there's like a high school student that's like, you know, sending them fan mail. And I think that they said that the person sending them the fan mail, actually they say Tokyo here instead of like that other place where the girl went missing. But I think last episode they said that he was from the place where the girl went missing. Or maybe that was a different person. Anyway, I just wonder if we'll ever see like this guy. You know what I mean? It's typically fans who attend solo performances, so it's only natural that your audience will laugh. And so they're basically saying, like, yeah, I went to go see y'all and everything. Now, this car looks kind of sketchy to me, but I'm not sure. Well, like, obviously, it's like this white van, right? But it seems like that maybe this could be like a hint towards something. I'm not entirely sure what, but maybe it's like an undercover police type van. Like, I feel like we've seen that van before, but I don't remember when we saw it. Maybe it was last episode during the police stop. I don't know. Also, I think it's great that you guys believe in your own value and have conviction. However, as professionals, I think it's embarrassing for you to knock people who don't recognize your talent as uncultured amateurs. And I'm like, bro, preach it. Like, that's so true, right? Only after you've acknowledged others' perspectives, stuck to your guns, and achieved success can you call yourself performers. And I'm just like, yeah, like, that's pretty true, you know what I'm saying? Like, you have to at least acknowledge the audience's perspective, right? Because if you don't care about the audience's perspective, you have no right to then go on and be like, you know, well, why can't we be on TV? Like, you know, like, if people are truly as uncultured as you say and don't like your content and stuff, they're the only way for you to get on TV, though, if the ratings are high. And so there has to be something in there to, like, you know, try to at least, like, convince them of your genius, you know, if you really think that you're a genius, you know. But anyway, don't mistake overconfidence for confidence. And I think that's interesting too, because with the Snail thing, we talked about like harmony, balance, like all that sort of stuff. And I remember that there was a philosophy class that I was in, and I don't remember like the philosopher anymore. I feel like it was Aristotle. It was probably not. But we talked about this thing about like vices versus like virtues, like what makes a vice and what makes a virtue. And a lot of people kind of think like, you know, like overconfidence is like the vice, because that's like, you know, being full of yourself, right? And then like confidence is like the virtue. They think very like black and white. But this philosopher basically said that it's actually like 3 columns, is that you have the opposite, and then the most extreme of the other direction, and then something in the middle. So you would have no confidence in yourself. Like that's like a vice. Like that's a vice. That's bad. But then on the other side, you also have a vice, and that's overconfidence. And then the middle is just like humble confidence, if you want to call it that, like justified confidence. And so basically, like this philosopher said, it's not just like black and white, like weak and strong, you know, like you know, jealous and not jealous, or gluttonous and not gluttonous, because they also said, in the case of like gluttony and stuff, or like a hunger for something, like being not ambitious, like having no ambition is just as bad as having like selfish, like too much ambition. Like it's basically like a middle of the road type philosophy. And so I kind of really like that they kind of like, you know, wormed that in there, because a lot of people think that it's just like, oh, you know, the opposite of I guess like confidence or overconfidence, like being full of yourself, is to be humble. But really, like what you should be aiming for is a nice middle ground where you have a justified confidence in yourself, because having no confidence in yourself is sometimes like as detrimental. It's just as much of a vice as, you know, having too much, having too little. You have to have the just right. I don't know, I just really like that. This show is making me think so much, and I'm just really enjoying it, especially because I'm not in school anymore. At least when I do go back to school, it's going to be for something completely, like, not necessarily academic in the same way. I'm going to school for performing arts, and that's also funny, because I'm going to school for performing, and this whole conversation's about performing, right? And so my other degree, I got a minor in philosophy, a minor in English, and then my major was in professional communications. And so, I don't know, I just really miss conversations like this, because, like, now I'm not studying anything. I probably won't study like philosophy anymore at this new school, because there are no electives. Like it's a very serious like performing arts school, and it's the exact same, everyone has the exact same schedule every single day. There's no electives like at the university that I graduated from this year. And so yeah, it's just kind of nice to have these like thoughtful conversations and like, you know, pull out the knowledge. I don't know. You managed to cover it up with your energy, but the final joke of your solo show isn't funny when written out. Keep at it. Someone bring that jerk here. But like, bro, like, you know what I mean? Like he has a point. See, now they're overreacting though. They're like, get me that jerk, right? Like, no, he gave you good criticism, bro. And I feel like that in itself is a big commentary as well. So now we're finally having a conversation between them. Do you feel awkward, right? Because like they're not talking to each other. I wouldn't say awkward. I listen to it every week, so I turned it on out of habit, right? It's almost like he turned on the radio so he wouldn't have to talk to her. Like, I think that's what she is basically saying or thinking. And so then she asked why he can't sleep. And so I feel like that there's also something to say about, like, you know, confidentiality somebody, like, as the nurse, like, you know what I mean, to talk to this way with your patients outside of work hours and stuff. And so that's, I don't know. I've forgotten how to sleep. I can't remember how I used to do it. And I feel like that she's trying to, like, fish this out of him, and it's like, why can't you sleep? Is it because you feel guilty, you murderer? Like, I feel like that's what she's trying to go for, that she's trying to find evidence to his wrongdoing. Like, what if he can't sleep out of guilt? Like, I don't know. Want to know a secret? And so he's just like, he has this like kind of look on his face. He's just like, like, I don't know. Like, okay. You count sheep. You make it sound like you came up with it yourself. I think that was so like fun. Like, that was just like so like innocently funny, I guess. I think it's Cyndi Lauper. So again, they're talking about the movie, and so I need to see this. Like, I need to investigate this movie because, again, my reactions have not started to release yet as I am recording. And so if anybody gave me feedback about, like, the movie and maybe the symbolism of the movie and stuff, I haven't looked at the comments because there are no comments because it's not out. So yeah, hopefully by episode 3, my episode, probably not actually if I record this weekend, but anyway, hopefully sometime it will be, like, out and, like, y'all can tell me and give me the explanation. And so then she asks if there's anyone that he likes, which is just, like, again, just, like, she's trying to, like, I feel like she's trying to, like, prod at, you know, like, at points or weaknesses or something, you know? Life's more fun when you're in love. I'm too old for that, right? And so, you're only 41, your life's just getting started, and so they're just driving. I can't particularly see anything, again, in here, any facial expression changes or anything. How do you know that? I've seen your medical records. You know all my personal information, don't you? See, like, that's not good. Like, you know what I mean? That's so sketchy. Like, for her to know all of this stuff about him, right? What about your family? They were gone before I knew it. When? Late elementary school. So I think I was actually wrong about his family, and I think there's a part of this episode that shows the incident again, and so we'll talk about it. How did you support yourself? What is this, a stress interview, right? See? Like, she's interviewing him because she has a bug, bro. At least that's what I think, right? Like, I think that she is responsible, like, for the bug and stuff, and so yeah, I'm just gonna show their faces very quickly. I think it's interesting, too, because this is the only time we don't see his head, like, it's angled into the driver's seat to avoid, like, us seeing his gaze and everything, and I feel like that's intentional. Like, it's kind of like that, oh, like, when an anime character, like, you can't see their eyes, they're hiding something, and so I feel like that's definitely, like, relevant right here. Sorry, I overstepped my bounds, and so see, now she's doing self-correction because she knows, like, that she's, like, on the brink of, like, getting caught out, I guess, right? And I feel like that's what's happening. Do you regret anything, right? And so he asks her, so now it's like he's, like, switched it up. Maybe taking out a student loan to attend nursing school. Why do you regret that? At the time, I was stubborn and didn't want to rely on my parents, but I feel like I should have, right? So it seemed like her parents were willing to pay, but she was just like, LOL, no, I'll do it myself. You still haven't paid it off? No, I have. And so again, you see her looking out the window as if there's something that she can't tell him. And I think that this is all connecting. Why does she regret that she took out a loan? Because her taking out the loan pushed her into selling drugs. Why does she regret selling the drugs? Because she got caught by the police officers, and now she has to, like, she's basically been coerced and blackmailed into, you know, pretending that she likes him, finding out all this information about him, right? Like, because she got caught and now she doesn't want to go to jail. And so I feel like that's actually a pretty good theory right now. And you actually see that he, like, side-eyes her and sees her looking out the window and then looks back. And so I feel like that he even knows that there's, like, something she's not saying. Where were you born? Sing me a Miyazaki folk song. So I think I missed a screenshot here. And yeah, that was weird. Yeah, I missed a screenshot. That's what happened. So I went back and I got it. So it's about singing the song, right? And so then she actually does start singing, which I think is interesting. And, like, something that I really like is when anime have songs that like aren't the OP, they're like in canon universe songs. And so I wonder if we'll ever get the rest of this song, because something I was interested in Shadow's House is Shadow's House has a song like that, and I wanted to do a cover of it, but my accompanist is taking a little bit of a break right now, and so hopefully when he gets back he can do that. But like now I'm like, ooh, if we got a full version of this song, or if this song like really exists, that would be a cool like ODDTAXI song cover, but like not the OP. Anyway, I only asked you because I assumed you couldn't, and so I thought that again, that was so funny and honest. It's kind of scary too. I want to build a happy family so my parents back in Miyazaki don't have to worry about me. And so that's the other thing, right? Imagine you rebel against your parents, you don't take out their loan, right? Or you don't like let them pay. So you take out like a loan from a bank rather than getting a loan from your parents or the money from your parents directly, right? Like imagine. And then you start to sell drugs because you get desperate, right? To make sure that they don't have to worry about you or your debt or anything like that. Then you get caught by the police and have to blackmail some random guy, right? And so I feel like that may be a hint, is that the reason why she's all doing this is because if she was fucking arrested, like she would disappoint her family a lot. You know? And so her name is actually Miho. And so at first I thought that she was Yam. She's not Yam. So we have corrected that. And so then he asks if there's anyone that she likes, right? And so I feel like that's kind of interesting, because I wonder if he's picked up that like she's acting awkward, that maybe there's like something going on, you know, with her. And so I wonder if that's why he asks. Like, he's not just making conversation, but he kind of is, like, reading her and sees that, like, something's, like, been up with her behavior. What's he like? He's a little hard to describe. Do you have a photo of him, right? And so then I do. Would you like to see? I would. And so I'll tease Kikihana by telling him about it. Kakihana. And so I think that is the monkey dude that he was in the sauna with, right? And so then, right, she hands him the phone, and I love this, because it's not even, like, it's not the photo, it's just, like, the camera thing when you go to take the photo, and I thought that was so funny. Like, the humor is, like, so on point and everything. But again, something that I'm sort of thinking about this is that she is basically pretending to like him, to get closer to him, to like, you know, basically like help the police and stuff like that. And like you can even see, like he looks so startled in his facial expression, like he's looking and he's like, ah! Like, you know what I mean? Like I know that his eyes are just normally like that, but it seems like at first he's surprised, but then he kind of looks, I don't know, he kind of looks like not surprised anymore. Like when he's looking down like that, he looks a bit indifferent, but when you actually see him in the phone, he seems surprised, you know what I mean? And so I wonder if he knows though that this is all like a farce, that this is just all an act, right? You've transcended all kinds of stuff to achieve a look of total serenity, right? And so I think that he's talking about his friend's like facial expression right here, is the fact that he's just like, he's so shocked, and so he's just like being sarcastic, right, about the serenity. Like, clearly he's not in serenity. Like, he's literally, like, he's having a mental breakdown trying to process this, you know what I mean? I hate to admit it, Odokawa, but you got a chance. And, like, I wonder if these people are, like, gonna be relevant. I know that, again, we can't actually, well, now that I zoomed in, I can show y'all their faces. And so he actually seems to have, is that like tattoos or something? And so that's sort of interesting. Like, I wonder what those tattoos are supposed to represent. And then we have this guy over here. I wonder if they'll be relevant at all. At what? At the rate we're going, both of us are headed straight to, or for, I guess I should say, eternal bachelorhood. Snagging a beautiful girl like her would be a huge upset. So like an upset to the status quo, right? It's not like that. So like he knows that it's not like that. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, why do you know? Like, you know what I mean? Like, has he caught on? Like, does he know that there's something more happening? You don't like her. That's not it. So you like her. I don't particularly like her either. But if you had to choose, why force me to answer a difficult question in black and white terms, or black or white terms, I should say? What if you had to choose? Oh, they said it again. Who are you, Mr. Children? I don't know what that means. I'm asking which way you lean. well, I guess towards liking her, right? So at first he's asking like a black and white question, and then he's like, okay, I'll rephrase, and he put it on like a sliding scale, because that's more like in tune with how Odokawa like thinks, I guess. You know, like he doesn't think in like absolutes, yes, I like her, no, I don't like her. It's like, you know, life is a spectrum, I guess, or a scale for him, and I kind of really like that. How much? I'm asking how big your affection is for her. I feel like that there's an innuendo here, just because, like, he has his hands cupping, and they're cupping kind of over where his dick is supposed to be, so I feel like that it's supposed to be, like, an erection joke. Maybe I'm looking too much into it, but anyways, about the size of a North American supplement. What does that mean? Are they talking about vitamins? Is that a joke about how we take, like, vitamins because, like, we're not getting our nutrients from food? Like, I was very, taken, like, I was like, what does that even mean? Because before, when I had read this, I think I thought that he said, like, stadium or something. Like, you know what I mean? That would have made sense, but they're saying supplement, right? So, like, a vitamin? I don't know. And I was like, what? But I think that it's still, like, it's really funny. I love this anime so much. Like, I think that everything's just so on point about it. They say women are as fickle as the autumn weather, and that you should strike while the iron is hot. Who says that, bro? Like, you know, I get it, but at the same time, like, I feel like that his character arc is being, like, sort of, I don't want to say that he's, like, an incel, but, like, I feel like that he is very, like, you know, like, women are as fickle as the wind, all women care about is money. Like, he is very superficial, I guess, and maybe that will be his character arc, like this guy. Hopefully he'll, change a little bit, because he's driving me crazy. If you're too aggressive, she'll think you're a desperate old man, so it's a tough balancing act. If it were me, I'd give her a little by giving her, I'd tease her a little, sorry. I'd tease her a little by giving her the cold shoulder, then smile kindly at her when I see her at the clinic. Just shut up already. So that's Odokawa speaking. When I ask myself why I'm getting advice from a guy, who's still looking for a wife, it all started to sound like static. So basically what he's saying, like, I finally realized that you have no bearing here. You know, you have no power or, like, any experience. Why the fuck am I asking you? So he's basically saying, just be quiet. Like, you're, like, radio static in my head at this point because your opinion's irrelevant. That's how it sort of feels to me. I bet your parents would be ecstatic if you were married by the time they return. And so he has a very sketchy expression, right? And so it seems like that he's talking about, like, his actual parents, but doesn't he know that his parents are dead? Like, you know what I mean? Like, they talked about at the bar how he lost his parents, and this expression seems like he's almost baiting him into telling him, like, the truth about what happened with his parents, because I thought that his parents were dead, and so, like, you know, he's talking about them as if they just fucked off and went missing, and like, oh, well, you know, your parents, when they come back, they'd be, you know, to see you married, that would be nice, right? Like, that's kind of weird. It's a weird thing to say to your friend, that you know that the parents are dead, right? So that's the only thing. I'd rather show the people who covered my living expenses, right? So that's the people that adopted him after my parents left that I'm happy. So he's like, fuck my parents. Like, I would rather show my adoptive parents that I'm happy with a wife. And so that's the thing. It's like, do people not know that his parents are dead? Or did I misinterpret that and his parents aren't dead? Like, his parents, like, are alive or abandoned him somehow. Or I had the theory that his parents were in prison last episode, or at least his mom. And so maybe he knows that, and so that's what he means by get back, like get out of jail. And so when he says that his parents left, maybe they didn't leave, like they literally, like, you know, went to get cigarettes and never came back, as we say in the Ruby fandom towards a certain character. But I feel like that it's more so maybe they were arrested, you know, and then, like, all of the fallout from that. And so that's the only thing I'm like, what do you mean? Like, you know, that seems like a very cruel thing to say to a friend if you knew that their parents were dead. And so it seems like people don't know. Like, maybe he's just told people that his parents, like, left him. You mean that support group, right? So it seemed like that he was taken to, like, some sort of orphanage after his parents either died or, like, left. You never get in the bath. You want to stop by at Teiko's place. And so Teiko's place is the bar. And so Yam is her first name, I think. And so yeah, that was where the pen was originally. So he takes a photo of him, which is pretty invasive, but at first I thought that he was sending it to Miho. He's sending it to like the lady of the bar, which is still like not okay, but you know what I mean? Like I was confused at first, but now I understand. And what is very interesting to me is that Odokawa is very strict on like rules and stuff. Like it doesn't matter that nobody's here, it says it's prohibited. And that is like a behavior that's generally associated with people that are like neurodivergent, like people that have ADHD or like autism. And I know that in like my specific case, I'm very much like that too. Like I very highly value like if something is like fair, you know what I mean? Like if, you know, my like let's say my sister leaves out the ketchup and I don't like ketchup, so I don't use it, and my mom asked me to put it away, I'm just like, well, that's not fair because I didn't use it. But like you know, neurotypical people tend to have a different sort of definition of that, where it's like it doesn't matter if you didn't use it, if you're part of the unit, you help out and you put that thing away, like even if you didn't do it. Whereas I'm like well, that's not fair because I didn't do, right? And so I feel like that's kind of interesting, that like you know, there's a lot of relatability with him, and I would like to like know how like other people feel about him as like maybe like representation, like as a character that seems to be like on spectrum in that way, because I relate to him a lot. Like when he was talking about like the intrusive thoughts and stuff like that, and like thinking of like 5 different answers in order to like pick the least offensive one, I'm like, hello, that's me, you know? And so I don't know, I find him just to be a very compelling and relatable character in that way, and I thought that that was like a small thing, but still like a very interesting thing. And we are almost out of the bathhouse, luckily for us. But I'll show you the phone so far. So we see like I guess like the Tinder app, and it also seems like that there's categories, so maybe you can like talk to other people, like it's a chat room about topics you like, and then match with them and talk to them in private. It seems like it could be something like that. So then he has new messages, so he goes to check. So yeah, this is Shiho, not to be confused again with Miho, which is the alpaca lady. Nice to meet you. I was intrigued by your very genuine looking photo, so I sent you a message. Feel free to message back. So she's 18, which again, like, you know, she's legal, but like this guy's probably like 40 or 30 or something. But I think the whole point of this is the fact that like she is looking for a sugar daddy. Like she is looking for an old man, you know, to buy like her albums and stuff. And so I hope that this plot line will be about like how, like, you know, you shouldn't do that, basically. Like, you know, a warning maybe. Like he finds out that that was her intention, and like he feels like very bad that she felt like she had to go to those extremes in order to like get validity like as a star and all of that stuff. Like you could have a very interesting conversation about like the lengths that especially young people feel that they need to go to like for fame, or to like basically I guess validate themselves as a performer, or even as something else, to the point they'll put themselves in like kind of sketchy situations in order to like achieve that, right? So I feel like that there could be something interesting, but he immediately jumps for it. I don't know how I feel about that, but I feel like the whole thing is that he'll like change, you know what I mean? That he'll change by the end, because then like he, you know, he gets all like embarrassed and blushy and all of that sort of stuff. And I guess it's flattering for him that like a young person, or I guess like just like, you know, a cute girl, it doesn't need to be a young person, but just because like oh, like you're a what did he say to Odokawa? Like, oh yeah, you're an old man, like don't, you know, don't come on to her too desperately, or she'll think you're like a pervy old guy, right? So he probably is projecting a little bit and think that that's how people think about him. So the fact that like somebody who's like cute actually thinks that he's like genuine probably gave him a little ego boost. But I hope that the end of that plot line is like him realizing that he was wrong in his romantic pursuits, and then maybe like a little bit like a moral of the story about how that's not a way to go about things. Please, like, do not get sugar daddies because you want to be, you know, famous and a pop star. Please don't do that. And so I think that they'll definitely investigate like the lengths that people feel like they will need to go to, like to get fame or to get validation in their career and stuff like that. Or not even just that, but like also how do you say it, like, how that impacts people, how people are willing to, like, you know, kind of turn their morals, or I guess, like, you know, twist their morals in order to, or sacrifice, like, you know, their dignity, like, I would say, like, in order to pursue, I guess, like, fame and stuff like that. You know what I mean? And so this seems to be the social media guy's room, and so there's job books, and then there's social media books, and then there's collection of funny tweets, and then how to go viral. So obviously, you see that first, he wants to find a job, and then I guess he gave up trying to find a job, and now he wants to be like a social media celebrity. And so then you see that, like, his jokes are not, like, you know, that's 4 likes, no comments, no retweets, you know, like, it's a big sad time for this guy, you know what I'm saying? And so how am I supposed to go viral, damn it, right? And so then he has the photo of his viral tweet pinned on the wall, which I thought was just so funny. And it seems like that he's maybe like a kid, like he's a young person, not a kid, like a teenager or like a college student, because somebody's telling him to get in the bath, and like that could be like, you know, like a partner or something like that. But at the same time, I'm sort of thinking that may be his mom is basically what I'm trying to get at, is that it may be his mom, and he may be a college kid, or like, you know, a kid that's like maybe graduated college or high school but can't find a job and wants to go viral and still lives with their parents. And nothing wrong with that, because I also live with my parents, right? So no tea, no shade, as the kids say. We were told young people aren't watching TV, but popular tweets tend to be about TV, and people who brag about not watching it are just addicted to their phones. Not only that, but they're idiots who think they're actively gathering information. And so that was kind of like, I don't get that entirely. So this is the guy that's speaking, I think, is the guy that makes the sleep spaces, I think, because it's the Don Rack, or maybe that's a different guy. Maybe the Eraser is about like this guy, like he's a comedian or something, and then the conversation about the sleepscape was different. But for some reason I feel like that they're the same person, right? Because she was like, oh, you know, I have this Eraser actually like talking about the sleep scape thingy. And so I feel like that he's probably like a popular guy for a bunch of different reasons, you know? Okay, so I spent like 5 minutes trying to figure out what numbers these are, and he literally said it in the next fucking sentence. So it's 1,400 retweets, which would imply that this is 2 million likes. And again, this is like a fake social platform, so I guess it doesn't matter. But like at first I thought he was getting ratioed, because I thought that it was 14,000 retweets and then 200,000 like likes or something. You know what I mean? Like I thought that he was getting ratioed because I didn't know what the numbers meant. But I guess that 2.1 means million. And I'm just like, okay, sir, sure. And so there it is, LOL, old people causing problems again, right? And so maybe he is getting ratioed. I don't know. And so yeah, I'm a little confused about that. But see, even here, it would seem to imply that's like 3.4 million likes. You know what I mean? So I don't know. And like 2 million retweet, like I don't know. Anyway, it doesn't really matter. But somebody tell me. I need help. I need assistance. It's probably more realistic that the point is actually like 100. Well, no, because the other thing was 100. So it must be millions, right? Because the regular number was hundreds. The point must be, well, I guess that could be 100, well, no, but yes, anyway, guys, stop me from trying to do the math. I have not done math since high school. That was like 7 years ago. Please somebody stop us. It doesn't matter. It doesn't really matter. So I feel like he's gonna start beef with him. Is that like an unjust assumption? Because I feel like he was looking at his hit tweet, and he looked at, oh, LOL, old people causing problems again, and he looked at his phone, and he looked with a very almost determined expression, if that makes sense, like, like, you know, like, oh, like, this old guy, like, causing shit, like, he looks kind of mad, and so I wonder if he'll, like, try to, like, rebuttal the famous guy to get, like, attention, like, he's gonna start, like, controversy, or, like, not even, like, rebuttal the old guy, but more that he thinks, like, causing drama is the only way to get attention on social media, because look at how much attention that tweet has, but it's only because old people are causing problems again, right? And so that would be a very real trajectory for him to go down, because a lot of people, like, especially people that want to like make it on social media, they realize that the algorithm favors drama and like controversy and stuff like that, and so they basically like start to be like not drama channels, but they start to talk about like clickbaity drama, you know, stuff rather than like anything else, or like dunk on people on Twitter, because Twitter rewards you for dunking on people and having all your followers be like, oh yeah, you dunked on them, he, right? And I'm totally guilty of that. Like, I've definitely posted stuff because I've known that like like that's what people want to see, I guess, you know, like, oh, like say like I post a comment, and even if I like hide the name or something, and I'm like, guys, like, look at this, like, what, like, who does this, you know, like, this is like silly, you know, like, why would somebody say something like this, like, you know, protecting their identity and everything to make sure nobody goes harassing them, so nobody can find the guy, nobody can go harass the guy, so it's more like just for, I guess, like people's benefit, like people post those things to like get like, I guess, internet points, you know what I mean, or to get like, oh, like to show all their followers, and then your followers are like, oh yeah, like that guy is an idiot, right? And so it's like very self-serving in a way, and I you know, again, like I'm kind of guilty of doing stuff like that as well, where I'm like, oh, well, if I like dunk on this person because the entire like fandom is dunking on this like one like very clearly stupid, very clearly like, you know, baity type tweet, like, okay, so here's an example. I know that like y'all probably don't care about this because I doubt that y'all watch RWBY, but there was this person that said like Yang, who is a female character, Yang can't be a lesbian because would lesbians have big boobs? And they posted that, and it was kind of like unsure whether that person was like being legit or if they were trolling. Like, part of me, like, I think I remember that situation, part of me was like, no, I think that they're actually being serious, and that's like the most scary part. And like, people cropped their names, so like, you know, nobody was getting harassed, but it's just one of those things that you could ignore because it's such a dumb, stupid, like, you know, it's such a dumb, stupid thing to say, but obviously people can't ignore it because it's funnier to quote tweet and dunk on that person. And so this year I've really tried to stop doing that, just because I think that that's sort of toxic, you know, and you sort of like get into this cycle where you realize like, oh, you'll get more like attention if you post things like that, and everybody will like, you know, like your tweet. Like, it's almost like this subconscious psychological thing where Twitter rewards us for kind of like dunking on people and kind of like doing stuff like that, and then we finally snap out of it and we realize like, wait a minute, like Twitter is basically training us to like live in this constant spiral of toxicity and clearly you know, responding to trolls and just horrible takes and stuff, like when are people on Twitter gonna stop responding to stuff that's clearly fucking bait, like that whole thing. And so I know I've gone on a tangent, but I do genuinely wonder if this guy is gonna start being controversial on Twitter because he thinks the only way to get any social media attention is by being like a little shit, you know what I'm saying? Alright, so our social media guy aside, we are back to Mystery Kiss, and clearly, like, the Calico girl is the girl that was texting on the dating app. And so we have a couple people here, right? Obviously, we saw this guy last episode, and so it seemed like that what he had gotten when we saw him was like tickets like for this, and that's why he was so excited. Imai-sen, you waited in line for me again. And she's like so cute, she wears pink, she's all frilly, but then backstage she's like in a leather jacket, so we'll talk about that after. I've been waiting forever to see you debut. So her name is Rui, I think, is how I would say that, is how I would guess. Of course I did, right? And so he's just like so cute. I'm ready to take your picture. How should we pose? And so he's like, oh, well, I already have like this, and this, because he's like a super fan. He's been here before, right? Since you're so special, how about a hug, right? So now they're doing a new pose. And so she hugs him, and they take the photo, obviously. And I think that this is a ploy. Like, obviously, he's a very big fan. And so to keep him around, you know, like, they're basically like appeasing him. Like, I do wonder if she genuinely likes him or if she's just faking, especially like with her change in personality backstage and everything. And so we'll see. Since you're my last visitor today, I'll give you an autograph too. Thank you. I promise I'll buy your debut single. Thanks, but I'm not sure if it'll sell well. And I think that it actually pans to this for a reason, and that's because there's still a lot of leftover merch. And so she's saying like, oh, you know, like, I'm not sure if it'll sell well, and she's saying that because, like, you know, thanks, but, like, side-eye looking towards the other girls, like, almost as if it's, like, their fault, you know what I mean? Are things tough? We had fewer people show up than expected today. I've been thinking, they would look better without masks, right? And so, they're so cute, it's such a waste, right? And so it seems like that the implication was the reason why they're wearing the masks are because, like, I guess that they may have gotten harassment or something online, because one of the girls debuted, like we see in the flashback, without the mask, right? So it seems like that one of them, I think, always had it, or maybe both of them didn't, but then after, I guess, maybe they were posted online and then they started to wear the mask again. Nobody wants a Polaroid if they're masked. I assume that they would take their masks off for the pictures, right? Oh, they may be cute, but of course they're not as cute as you, right? So it's just like, well, wait, like, let me, you know, remind her that I'm, like, simping for her primarily. But those were the conditions for our debut, right? And so she seems disappointed in that. They've got their reasons, I guess. And so, also, her dancing has gotten a little sloppy lately, and so they're talking about her. Mitsuya, I think is her name, yeah. Is she not feeling well? And so then they explain she works part-time while attending lessons and streaming from home. So I wonder if they mean, like, Twitch streaming or something like that. She might be tired, sounds rough. Don't put yourself too hard. And then, obviously, they have the autographed photo, and I just think that he's really cute. He's like, I'll promise I'll get rich and buy tons of your CDs and merch. I'm just a waiter at a club right now, but, like, I hope that this guy wins the lottery. I hope that he does. I'm rooting for him too. I always think about that. I'm like, bro, if I had money, I would just, like, if I was, like, a millionaire, I would just, like, buy cosplays, and I would, like, buy, like, you know, Lolita dresses and Rooster Teeth merch and, like, anime merch and stuff. And so I always wonder, like, where are the millionaires that are massive nerds like me? And then my boyfriend says that nerds like us don't become millionaires, probably for something related to that reason. But anyway, and so then we see, we've got some time before the venue closes. So he's talking to the two other girls here that haven't sold as much merch. Could you go outside and sell our leftover merch? You're kidding, right? Rui doesn't have to. So I'm assuming that they're talking about her. They're just calling her by her last name to be, like, respectful. And then she says, what can we do? Our sales aren't as good as Rui's. And so, yeah, like, basically they're saying, like, she sold all of her stuff, y'all didn't. Nobody cares about us, right? And so he says, I'm really sorry. And I'm just like, oh. And I'm just like, I feel bad for them, and I feel like he feels bad for them too. It's so embarrassing to go outside with this mask on. Don't you think it's impossible for us to succeed? These masks prevent us from attracting big spenders, right? So they're basically saying, like, you know, we need, like, boys to be in love with us to sell music, and we can't, right? I couldn't attract fans even if I took my mask off, right? And so I wonder why, because, like, I heard, like, a theory, again, I think I talked about this before, that, like, they're not actually animals, but that's just, like, how, Odokawa, like, sees the world and everything. So I wonder if her calico, hair somehow, like, is, translated into, like, real life in a way. Like, you know, there are people that have, I don't know what the condition's called, but it's like, it's a skin condition where patches of their skin are lighter or darker than their skin color, right? And so you kind of have, like, birthmarks, right? And so I wonder if, like, that's what's going on with her, is that she may have, like, that the brown part of her hair may be representative of some sort of, like, birthmark. And I, like, there's, like, a model that has that skin condition that I see, like, all the time, and she's, like, stunning. She's, like, beautiful. So I wonder if this is gonna be about, like, finding, like, self-love and stuff like that. So I wonder, like, if there's something going on with her that translates into, like, real life somehow. And so maybe, like, people were bullying her online, you know what I mean? Like, people were bullying her for how she looked and stuff. Yeah, well, I started my career maskless, and now I'm here. If anything, it's crazy that you have any self-esteem at all, right? Maybe it's because my parents raised me with love, right? And so I was like, wait, what? That's crazy. You're right. That's a big factor. My parents always told me that I couldn't do anything, and I was like, damn. But like, clearly she's still maskless though, so she can't have that much self-esteem. You know what I mean? Like, the other cat girl still, like, has the mask on. So, like, you know what I mean? She's like, oh yeah, my parents raised me with love. That's why I have confidence, but you wear a mask too. So is it about confidence, or is it about, like, keeping your two lives separate? Like, so people don't know your identity and stuff. And so they're talking about when they're happiest, right? When I'm in the bath, you sound like an old lady. When I'm eating, especially if it's fried chicken. So that's their answers, is that this one just wants to take baths, this one's happiest when they eat. And so I thought that that was really cute. And so you're crazy. That's crazy high in calories. And so they say that her vocabulary is bad. And I remember I watched a video, and I don't know what it's called anymore, but there's a specific slang in Japanese that, like, girls that are, like, popular will use, and there's a certain name for it. And so I wonder if, like, that's the slang that she's using, but I'm not entirely sure, and I don't remember what it's called. So now, again, like, look at her. Like, this is her, like, normal appearance. Is like, she's all dressed in black, leather jacket, all of that stuff, right? And I know that her thing's just a costume, but I do wonder, because she has a very, like, sad expression, or, like, you know, resting bitch face, as we would call it right here. This is beyond our expectations. Great work. Even the online news is talking about you. It's not enough. We're even less successful than we should be given the commercial we put out. We need more fans like Imai, right? And so I feel like she's basically just using him, you know? Like, she is just, like, keeping him around because he's one of those, like, 5 fans. And so they talk about, like, how he was one of the guys that was there initially, I guess, like, at the original debut performance. Yeah, he's been probably the only one who's been following us since then. And I don't know if we get another image of it. I think that we see in his backstory that we see how the girls debuted originally. Okay, so this is where I got fucking confused, right? Because in the audio drama, he talks about, like, that he is Yamamoto, right? That's this guy's name. So when I had originally seen it, I thought the doctor got it from Yam, so he means Yamamoto. But Yamamoto was also saying he got it from the taxi driver, which is Odokawa. And how did Odokawa get it if it wasn't from the doctor who got it? You know what I mean? And so it didn't make any sense. I thought it did a circle. I thought the manager gave it to the doctor, who gave it to the taxi driver, and then in the audio drama, he says he got it from a taxi driver. So I thought it did a circle, but now I understand. So Yam is the kangaroo lady, and it got to him. He is now the Yam who has it. I think that's where I got confused last time. Yes, it went smoothly. Half right, of course. A what? A dash cam, right? So he's, like, involved in this somehow, because they're talking about, like, the dash cam, and, you know, that was the whole thing that the police officer handed off to the shady guy. And so I'm like, how is this band involved? Are they, like, is this band a front for money laundering? Is that why that they need to be more successful or something? Because they want to, like, you know, launder money through the success of the band and be like, oh yeah, we totally got this money from albums. Totally, you know, like, and if they're unsuccessful, they wouldn't be able to say that, right? So I wonder if there's, like, some sort of criminal operation that's involved with the girls right here. I'm not sure what I can do if you don't. You're right, understood. So, like, he's, like, so sus. Like, I don't even know. It's fine, nothing for you to worry about, right? And so what did they say? Like, who is they? Like, the organization, the people that are funding this debut? Like, what if they're just funding it, like, for a scheme or something? I don't know, but yeah, still. And so then you see that Imai gets picked up, obviously, in the taxi. Excuse me, could you take me to Shinjuku for 2,000 yen? So that's like 20 bucks, right? It costs 350 yen to get to get from here to Shinjuku. I'll go as far as I can, because he's asking, like, hey, can't you make an exception? And he's like, no, please take me. And he just, like, he seems like panicked. Your haggling style is so pushy, it's creepy. Please, I'm broke. And then he says, fine. Then look how happy he is. He's just so cute. Damn it, all losers. So he bought a bunch of lottery tickets because that's how he wants to get rich. And I think that that's just so funny because, like, mood, you know what I mean? Like, that's what I think too. Like, oh, I'll just play the lottery, then I'll be a millionaire, and then I'll buy cosplay, right? Then I'll buy whatever I want, right? And so, yeah, like, I definitely I feel him a lot. If you have the money to buy those, you should set some aside for cab fare. So I really like how we have, you know, like, fatherly, Odokawa giving that parental advice. I'm gonna use the money to buy Mystery Kiss CDs, right? And so then obviously we see the band again. It's a 3-person idol group that just debuted. After struggling for 2 years, they finally debuted. That's not a long struggle, right? He's just like, it just took 2 years, bro. Thinking back, I encountered them a year ago at a concert I happened to attend. Back then, there were only 5 people in the audience, including me. So he's basically like going back and like explaining like the history. But today, all those fans came to see them. I feel happy, but also sad. I feel conflicted. But like, so basically, he feels happy that now they're getting a lot of fans, but he's sad because like he was the OG and he may not be special anymore as they get more fans, which again is a very interesting conversation. And a lot of people, like, they kind of want to be there on the ground floor, but then when somebody gets popular, they kind of sort of like drift away. And like, it kind of makes sense. Like, I've heard of people that support like small Twitch streamers, and then when they get popular, they kind of like, you know, like take their sub, I guess, and like sub to like another small Twitch streamer. Like, they sort of like, you know, keep going in order to build people up and then leave to build the next person up, which makes a lot of sense. I would just be kind of sad, like, if somebody left me because I got popular, you know what I mean? But I do get it. Like, in terms of monetary support, you want to monetarily go on to support the next person so maybe they can get big too. But just in terms of support in general, I sort of think about that sometimes. And so I feel like that he was like, I was one of the 5 fans. I'll never forget how I felt then. And so I think that he's basically conflicted because it's like, you know, I feel a sense of superiority for being there first, and a lot of people definitely feel that way. And so this is again like a visual from their first performance. Her singing reminded me of Janis Joplin, and I'm like, why are there so many? Like, you know what I mean? I don't even know what that means, but anyway. Her innate idol-like qualities contrasted with the ambition that flowed out of her, right? And so I feel like that she's not faking being an idol, but obviously, like, she's a performer, and so I feel like that maybe she's just ambitious, and like, this is a way to feed her ambition, almost, in a sense. And then you have, like, obviously the cat girl. She didn't wear the mask from the start. Exceptional physical abilities backed by her next level dancing. Oh my god, I just thought of a theory. This is like so random, but oh my god, okay. So what if the girl that's in the band right now isn't the same girl, right? Because I don't know if she had that earring before when we saw, okay. So here's like the big conspiracy. I just realized something. So the girl that went missing has black fur, right? And all of that stuff. So what if like the reason why the girl's dancing is getting sloppy is because it's not really her? You know what I mean? Okay, so what if the girl that went missing was the original Yuki Mitsuya, and now this girl is like the one that's like in the present timeline, like replaced her, and that's why the band is involved in like the criminal activity and the manager, because like the original girl went missing and they replaced her, and that's why she has to wear the mask, because that's what I was saying, is that she said that she has confidence, that she doesn't have low confidence because her parents loved her, but if she doesn't have low confidence, why wear the mask? Maybe she's wearing the mask so her bandmates like don't know. Like, do her bandmates ever see her without the mask anymore? Or does she always wear the mask? Like, that could be really, really interesting, because one girl does it out of low confidence, but then this girl, what if she's not doing it because of low confidence? What if she's doing it because if we saw the front of this girl's face, we would know, right? So what if the girl that went missing, it's like they kind of like swapped their identities, because I don't remember if they said the girl that went missing's name on the news, but what if they like swapped them almost or something, you know? They were both like cats with this color fur, and so what if that's a thing? Like, what if that's the whole thing? And then that's why the dancing's getting sloppy, because the like Rui said it's just because she's busy, like she has school, she's stressed out, she's tired, so her dancing is lacking. But what if her dancing is lacking because not because she's tired, but because she's not the same person, and the new girl, the fake girl, doesn't have the same dancing skills? Right? Like, oh my god, that would be so funny. Like, that would be amazing. That would be so big brain, because you don't see her face, right? Like, you only see the back of her head and you think that it's the same girl. But what if it's not? Like, what if it's, because see, like, you see her face, you know what I mean? But But if you go back, like, all you see is the back of her head. How are you supposed to know that this is the same girl? What if it's not? What if it's not the same girl? But everyone thinks it is because they look the same. So they just found a girl to look the same, because, like, you see her face, you know that that was her. But what if the other girl's not her? What if she's like a fake? What if she's an imposter? And they don't know each other that well anyway. And so they wouldn't really know the difference, right? Especially if they all wear their masks on around each other. Oh my god, guys. That'd be fucking insane. They were the holy trinity of idols. You've got a lot to say about them, but their personalities got less impressive as you went on. Damn. And he's like, yeah, well, I only stand this girl, like, not the rest of the group. I made a fan account. That's so funny. Anyway, today was their debut CD pre-order event. And so, yeah, he's basically saying that he bought the CDs and then he got Polaroids. The more you order, the more Polaroids you get to take. So I think that he basically got a lot. Like, he has already, like, 3 different poses with her. Assuming you're right, if you've got the money for lottery tickets, you should spend it all on CDs instead. But see, like, that's not enough. Like, all he can get is 1 CD, but he can get, like, 10 lottery tickets, win the lottery, and then, you know, fund her criminal endeavors, I guess. Are you a lucky man, driver? After all, they call it catching a break, right? And so he's basically making a pun. I bet you've got great luck. And so I think that this is where we get into, like, the stuff with his parents, actually. A long time ago, I survived an accident that should have killed me. And so I think that then, so maybe I am lucky. And so then we actually see, right, the accident. So it seems like that there may be a car that was totaled over here, that you have a little kid, and then you have another person, and then you have, like, someone in a body bag and a bunch of police cars, right? So, Sora, don't go anywhere, sis, okay? I'm almost finished. I don't know if y'all saw that. The poster moved. Anyway, so at first, I thought that the mom, like, killed the dad and kidnapped the son, and now, like, the mom's in prison or something. But now I'm thinking that maybe the reason why we saw him lying in the car was because, like, you know, there was a car accident or something like that. But the mom is still there, right? Or maybe, like, not even the mom, just, like, there's a person that seems to be unharmed, right? And so I wonder if, like, I'm still right about, like, the arrested thing, you know? Like, maybe the car accident was just a cover-up to kill the dad. And so I feel like that maybe, because, like, in the last episode, you have this, like, red image where this guy is, like, lying on something, and it almost looks like he's missing an arm, too. So that could have been, like, him lying in the back of the car, like, being hurt, or, like, even, like, somewhere else after getting hurt in the car accident. But it seems like that they're relatively unharmed. So was it really an accident, or was it, like, on purpose or something? I don't know. If you were lucky, you wouldn't have gotten into an accident. I guess you're right. We've arrived in Shinjuku. Is here okay? And so, since you're a lucky driver, could I have your 7 favorite numbers between 1 and 37? And so I feel like that I want him to win the lottery. I'm rooting for him to win. And he actually has a picture of his friend drinking as well. And I think that we actually see in this area the pen on the top of the car, so I'll show you guys that in a minute. But then he basically just reads a bunch of random numbers from the locker picture, which I think is hilarious because those numbers don't have any meaning to him, right? Like, he's just picking some random ones, and I thought that that was so funny and, like, kind of clever and represents his personality, I think, a lot. You know, like, everyone else thinks that there's this great meaning in what he says, but that he's just, like, picking at random. Hey, you still had money, right? And so I really like this scene, and I like the little face he makes here. He's like, ah, geez, right? And so I thought that that was, like, really good. I really liked his interaction, and I like how everyone is sort of getting a chance to interact with him. And then you have the alpaca lady, Miho, saying if they can meet now. And so I think he was going to answer, but then the comedians come in at the back of the car. And so I don't think that I got a shot of the pen quite yet. And so they're basically just talking, and I'll show y'all their appearances. Obviously, I feel like, are they supposed to represent, like, the political parties in the US? Because isn't one of them a donkey, and then the other one's something else? I don't know. I don't remember the, yeah, one of them's, oh no, it's an elephant. No, that's not right. He's not an elephant. He's something else. But yeah, I don't know. That's the first thing that occurred to me for some reason, but I don't know a lot about stuff like that, so I guess I'm not right. But I wonder if they do represent something, because they have a very, like, Timon and Pumbaa kind of dynamic, like from The Lion King. But yeah, so it seems like that they're watching, you know, stuff to see online and stuff like that, right? To see, like, what they can use for their show. And so apparently, so this is the this is obviously the guy that's chasing after the fame, and I love how the video is exactly 10 minutes because I'm not sure if that's intentional or not, but it was a very long-running joke for a long time that YouTubers made all their videos like arbitrarily 10 minutes long in order to get more monetization, and so I wonder if that's like legit or not, you know? I'd rather listen to the actual song, and I'm just like, oh man, well that's, you know what I mean? That's something to say about song covers, I guess, like song cover criticism. Some of them are moving though, right? And so he's basically saying like some of the covers are moving too slow. Okay, and so now he's playing like this game, like he's just playing this like kind of like Farmville type game on his phone, and apparently he's able to interact with his fans through that. And I'm sort of wondering, like I know that this is a reach, but like seeing that shovel for some reason is making me think like, could there be a hint in this mobile game about the girl? Like, you know what I mean? Like where to bury a dead body? Like, you know what I'm saying? I know that's like so not like it, but because they like dumped her in the water, but for some reason like that's what it reminded me of. Like what if there's some sort of like clue in the game and like other people have profiles and there's some sort of, I don't know if that game's gonna be relevant. I can play with our fans this way. What's wrong with that? Use that time to write jokes instead. So, you know, he needs downtime though. It's super addicting. You raise animals and stuff to rank up, right? So it's basically kind of like a Farmville type situation. And so yeah, they have this banter back and forth, you know, and so I feel like that, I mean among all people, don't get the wrong idea, right? Because he's saying like, yeah, it's not just professionals, like even our audience hates us. It's kind of a continuation of the conversation from before, right? And so now they're asking about the girlfriend, because I guess he's the guy that quit his job and his girlfriend's taking care of him. And so it's like, you know, you quit your job so your girlfriend could take care of you so we could succeed, and now you're playing, you know, Farmville all the time instead of like writing jokes and stuff. And so the percentage of people who know us is as low as the interest rate on a fixed deposit account, right? So he's comedy all the time. Well, my girlfriend has the opportunity to achieve the percentage of Kakio in a, I guess cocoa, in a very bitter bar of chocolate. And so yeah, that's his like rebuttal. I don't understand. I'm like a little confused. I've lost the plot, but he does know who they are, and I love that. I didn't know what you look like, but I recognize your voices. That's the problem. Driver, what do you think we need to be successful? I don't know, luck maybe? If we were lucky, we wouldn't need to work hard. We want to be the best act in the nation. So see, then you see the pen. So that means that the audio diary that we heard must take place after this episode, because he still has the pen in this episode and hasn't met the manager guy yet. At least that's what it would say to me, unless we are again doing circles. But I think that they may be out of the timeline, like you have to construct the timeline yourself, which means the manager must get in the taxi maybe next episode or something. And so yeah, it seems to me you're not equally committed, and I like the advice that he's giving, right? And so he's asking about the preliminaries. They made it past round 2. What would you do if I said we should dissolve the group? I think it couldn't be helped, right? And so he's just basically giving up. I hate to admit it, but you're the only one I think is truly funny from the bottom of my heart. And so yeah, this guy, like the girlfriend guy, is very like insecure compared to the bore guy, I guess. Even an older comedian said, you've got talent, so if I'm holding you back, then I think I should step out of your way. And I'm like, no, like that's so sad. Like he's so like self-deprecating, and I'm just like, you just gotta believe in yourself, you know? Like you can be a duo, you just gotta believe or something. You've got it all wrong. You shouldn't talk about quitting. Your fatal flaw is you're not as frustrated after he said that about us, right? And so I feel like that basically what he's saying is like, you're, instead of using that to fuel you, to motivate you to become better, you're using that as an excuse to give up. And I feel like that's very compelling and very interesting for them. Are you saying you can control your emotions? And so I'll show you guys this scene because they're flailing around. If people could do that, all unrequited love would cease to exist. That's actually pretty funny, right? You should be putting that on the airwaves. And so he seems to be funnier when he lets his inhibitions go and stops overthinking things and stops self-doubting. and gets frustrated. It's almost like the true him is coming out in anger, because when he's talking normally, he's just overthinking with anxiety. And you shouldn't have to be angry to be your quote unquote true self. But I think it's basically saying, I don't think it even needs to be anger. Any emotion can sort of override that anxiety in your brain, almost like excitement, right? It's when you overthink things and get caught in your own head that you're not as genuine or not as funny, right? It's the way that you talked back to me when you felt cornered. Who wouldn't talk back after being pushed like that, right? And so I feel like that's the key, is that when you're pushed, you lose your inhibitions. And that's not a good thing normally, but in this particular case, it seems to be good for him, right? And you see that Odokawa was laughing, and he's so cute, and I thought that was just really cute. Quit talking about my personal life, and so he's laughing harder and harder, and I thought that was so funny. And I just really like that. We went to the same high school. We're not that different, right? And so, when he's pushed, he's actually being genuine and funny. But the big twist of this is that only one of them gets called to do this TV spot, but it's, the more, I guess you could say, unfunny one, right? So the manager calls. We'll be arriving at the studio soon. Yes, we're in a taxi. So you see that his eyebrows are raised, but then he kind of has a kind of mad look on his face, right? What? Yes, he's right next to me. Yes, yes. And then what? Who, me? Yes, tomorrow, that's fine. And you sort of see him look back at him almost again, questioningly, oh, what? Yes, goodbye. And so then they talk about, I don't know why I have so many duplicates, guys. I think it's just something about how my screenshots got set up. And so, it's a regular appearance. You're kidding. On what? Some kind of daytime food show. So that's where I'm like, what? And so look, he looks so happy. He's like, this is gonna be our break, that's totally great. It's just me. And so I'm just like, why is it just you? That's so funny. That's such a big twist, is that maybe he, even though he's not the most funny one, is the more personable one. And so they want him and his maybe less abrasive attitude, whereas he is the more funny one. So I could see that conflict being a big part of their arc or whatever they're going through. And they both have this obviously very sad and disappointed look. And now, to top us all off, the violent guy gets in the car and points a gun at him. So that's great. And that is where we are ending, at least for today, so it seems. And then we also have Miho is saying, await at the park across from the clinic. So he still wants to meet up with her. And so then we see the preview for next episode, right? So obviously, gun guy's in the car. How are things lately, madam? There's nothing to report with Kiki Hana, and so again, that's this guy, right? Well, he's certainly hopeless, and so it seems like he's gushing probably about the girl on the dating app. Keep your voice down, he'll hear you, a dumb, hopeless monkey. Crap, we made eye contact. So he's not dead. He got to the park, luckily, so I wonder what all of this will be about. Ma'am, got any New Year's resolutions? I wonder if he is talking to, the kangaroo lady that owns the bar, because they're saying maybe I'll open a second shop, and so it seems like somebody's talking to her. And then you also have a little how do you say it, origami of the alpaca that Odokawa seems to be making right there. Okay, so I didn't take screenshots of this, so I think that I will just go through the video and pause. And I also have it on on 2x speed. So what's interesting about this is that the two other girls are talking shit about her, right? And it's oh, she needs to have a talk with us, right? Any idea what it's about? She probably wants to criticize our dance moves, right? And so yeah, they're talking about oh yeah, she's gonna talk snidely. Oh, I'm terribly sorry, but before she says something critical of them, right? This may be none of my business, but, and so yeah, they're basically talking shit about her. I don't mean to sound harsh, but that one's legit crazy. The sheer amount of superficial phrases in Japan is crazy. And so I feel though, she probably doesn't want to hurt their feelings, but at the same time that can come off as kind of fake or passive aggressive. So I feel that's what they're talking about. So they were basically talking shit about her. Then she comes in, right? Rui comes in and says that they want to have a talk. I thought we were close. No, really close. And so basically they expected her to be critical, but instead she's coming in here being we should hang out more, we should bond, we should get closer. And I think that they're probably going to feel bad, and that they would feel very surprised at that, if that makes sense, right? And so now she wants to, like, get to know them, and, like, they can bond, and they can be, like, better, and stuff like that. I don't want to become, like, the, kind of idols that bring up baseless trivia, like being able to read auras, or that they saw a leprechaun. I wonder if that's, like, legit, you know what I mean? Or the kind that, who can only get weak laughs off of the back of quips made by competent people. And so, I feel like that's interesting, because I wonder if that's, like, legit, like, not legit, I guess, but, poking fun at an idol group in the real world, and I just don't have, like, that context, right? I feel like nowadays there's a preference towards groups whose members are on good terms, right? So she's basically like, hey, like, we'll bond, we'll be on good terms, like, real life is already, like, full of hostility, right? But, like, behind her back, they are hostile towards her, which is the big irony, right? So then we have sharing secrets, which is great. And so there's a big lie, small secret, or wait, a big secret, a small secret, and a lie. So there's actually 2 truths and 1 lie on this piece of paper, and no one will know who wrote what. And so, like, the kind you take to your grave. And so this is, like, fucked up now, because, like, with 2 truths and a lie, right, that means, like, the ratio to lies compared to the truth means that something fucked up is actually true, right? And so there's actually something really fucked up right here, and so I guess we'll go, gotta disguise my handwriting. I wonder who thought of that, because it's hard for me to tell who's who, just because, again, like, it's easier for me to recognize English voice actors compared to the Japanese actors, and so I wonder, like, which girl said that, because, again, if we're, like, going on the theory that the cat girl is, like, the replacement, or, like, you know, the girl that went missing, or some sort of swap, or something, like, something crazy like that, or somehow participated in that, or, like, the girl that went missing was the original girl, and this is her replacement, like, the criminals, anyway, like, that they found a lookalike, basically, that's kind of sketchy, because she knows that she should hide her handwriting in case it should be used as evidence, if it was her. It may have been somebody else, but yeah, like, now, like, the ratio of the lies doesn't really make a lot of sense, if that makes sense. Like, you know what I mean? Like, something bad is true. So there's plastic surgery. I badmouth a group member on the internet. That seems, like, believable. That seemed legit, right? I have a sugar daddy. So obviously, I feel like that would be the calico girl, and so the sugar daddy and the badmouthing is probably true, not the plastic surgery. I'm doing couch casting, so that's basically like when you snuggle up to the director and stuff. I killed somebody. I'm married, right? And so I feel like that the marriage one probably shouldn't be true in theory, and it could be like a cop-out, right? But, like, think about that. So I killed someone, I'm doing couch casting, and I'm married, right? There's 2 very bad things, and then one, like, you know, like the married thing, and so I wonder if that's, like, a red herring, or if that's, like, legit, like, whoever wrote that did kill someone, you know, and it's maybe the killed someone in the couch casting that's true, and not the marriage, but you would assume, like, oh, the killed someone, that's clearly the lie, it must be the other 2. So then we have, I'm dating a comedian, incense sticks, sorry, and then I dumped a dead body. But what about the incense? Oh God, I'm so sorry. What about the sticks? The sticks, like, I don't get that. What's the secret about that? That you collect them? That you like them? That you burn them all the time? Like, I don't know, right? So that's the only thing that I didn't quite understand in terms of, like, the subtitling of this. Maybe I'll slow it down instead of, I have it on 2 times speed just because we're going through it, like, rather quickly. So maybe I'll just put it on normal and then see, like, if I miss something. I'm dating a comedian. Yeah, so it's just, somebody just wrote the sticks, like, what? Like, I don't get it, right? And so, again, like, if it's 2 truths and a lie, is the dead body part of the truth? Like, you know what I mean? Is the dead body part of the truth? Because obviously, you would think that that sort of thing is, again, a red herring, but now you have 2 girls, one saying they dumped a dead body and one saying they killed someone. Could, like, one of them be telling the truth and maybe the other one's not, right? Like, you know, like, the dump the dead body, that makes the most sense with what we saw in the first episode, right? But even the killed someone, so basically what I'm saying is that you could write those off as lies, but because it's 2 truths and a lie, there are equally kind of terrible, lie, like, you know what I mean? There are equally terrible truths in there. Maybe not these sticks, because I don't really get that, right? But like the dead body thing, like, and then what was the other one that they're dating a comedian? Like, I don't know. I feel like that somebody's getting this off their conscience and they're just being like, oh yeah, and well, nobody will believe that. They'll obviously think that that's the lie. But what if it's not the lie? But maybe they're trying to say that us as the audience will obviously think that it's the truth because we know that there's a murder, but it is a lie. So it's like the reverse psychology. It's like, you'll think that the poison is in my cup because you're smart enough to know that I wouldn't just put the poison in your cup, which means that the poison is actually not in my cup, right? And so you have, like, oh my god, I'm just grabbing random objects. The glass is cleaner, and my Disney cruise hydrating butter that I have on my thing. It's like say that this is the poison, right? Like, you wouldn't put the poison in your cup because you know that, like, I wouldn't put the poison in your cup because you would know that I would, like, do that for the first choice. But if I put the poison in my cup, you may think that I'm smart enough to have put the poison in your cup originally because you would know that I'm trying to do reverse psychology. And so if the poison is, like, basically this is poison root this is poison root 1, this is poison root 2, and then you can do that, like, forever, like, thinking about the reverse psychology. But because you think that I would put it in my cup, that means that you could have put it in your cup, like, that whole thing, right? And so I feel like that there's so many layers to this. Is it like, is it a red herring for us as an audience, or because we think that it's so unbelievable, we won't believe it, and then we'll be surprised later when it's actually true, right? Like, which one is it? Is it supposed to be like, oh yeah, like, no, like, they wouldn't do that, like, that's just, you know what I mean, they're just joking around, that's obviously a lie? Or is it us as the audience? No, obviously one of those has to be true because there's a murder, and, like, us thinking that it's a lie is just a red herring. But then on top of that, the writers could have expected that we would think that this is, like, true, and so it's not actually true. Anyway, I don't think we needed all of that, but you know, let's just keep going. So now I think this is when the manager comes in. Wait, only 3 of these are supposed to be lies, but all of them are crazy, right? And so the obvious lies have to be this one, and this one, right? So they're saying the obvious lies probably have to be the dead body related. And so yeah, they're even like, what's up with the sticks though? Secret sticks, right? Wait, they're literally something you take with you to burn at someone's grave. And so could that be someone basically trying to admit that they know of the murder, right? That they know that the murder happened. And so, like, if it's 2 truths and a lie, that means that even if the comedian thing was true, somebody either knows of a murder or participated in the murder. Now, somebody could have not followed the rules and just put a bunch of whack stuff in there, right? Like, they could all be lies, right? Like, you know what I mean? They could have just pretended to put truths in there, right? So, like, that could also be an option, is that someone's, like, just fucking with them, and, like, that maybe, like, they won't talk shit about Rui anymore. I don't know. And so then, I think that Rui has the lucky pen, and she got it from their manager. Apparently, I got it from our manager, and so the manager got it from the taxi driver. So it seems like that this takes place after episode 2, because Odokawa still has it in his taxi. That's if, though, this pen hasn't done a circle, right? So it went from the bar lady to the doctor to Odokawa to the manager, and now the girls have it. Well, we were able to release a CD. Those things were arranged before you got the pen, though. So see, it's trying to establish the timeline, that this must be, like, in between, like, this may be, like, after episode 3. Like, he has to pick up the manager first. Can I have it next? Sure, here you go. So it seems like Rui just gave it away to one of the girls, but again, I'm not entirely sure which one because I can't tell. Oh my god, no. It started to play the next one in the playlist. And so yeah, that is it from me. Oh my god, this video is gonna be like 2 hours long. Holy shit. Okay, I need to learn how to stop talking, but it was a very nice and productive conversation with all of you. I hope that you all enjoyed the video. Let me know your thoughts as usual, your criticism, since we had a big conversation about that. See, that's what got me me is I started talking about like the subplot with the comedians and I got off track, you could say. But yeah, I'm sure that all of that was necessary though. I feel like it was. But yeah, I will see you all in the next one, and that is it from me. Bye everybody.